even for Tibet, freedom for middle way or Umelam middle way, what his sons advised, or the freedom, whatever the total freedom. The Dharma and the total freedom Dharma and politics. Politics doesn't mean negative politics. Doesn't mean black politics. Politics means it's a method. Politics means a method, not necessarily politics means black politics, negative karma, doesn't mean that. There's a white politics, which is Dharma, which is non-dual with Dharma. Oneness with Dharma, holy Dharma, which is Dharma, and the Dharma so the unified him. So it's like somebody living in the isolated place, in the cave, but you are eating, walking, sitting, sleeping. Everything is Dharma, not only meditating, not only listening Dharma, reflecting meditation, but even walking, eating, sleeping, all that become Dharma. That's what we have to try. Even walking, eating, sitting, sleeping, everything becomes Dharma. Oh, then if your mind becomes Dharma, then everything becomes Dharma. Oh, everything becomes good karma. Everything becomes cause of happiness. Nothing becomes cause of negative karma. Dharma. If your mind becomes Dharma, so by meditating on impermanence, by meditating on the particular impermanent natural life, reality of life, nature of life, impermanence, there's nothing can benefit. Nothing can benefit at the death time or to the future life except the holy Dharma. So when you by meditating on that, no place where you can escape from death. There's no place where you can escape. There's some big walls and bodyguards, and there's no place where you can escape from death. There's no place. There's no medicine to escape from death. You have a karma to live longer, so you can pacify the untimely death, like car accidents or the heartache or something. There are many things, yeah. So you can by taking medicine, by doing meditation, by reciting mantra, especially by liberating animal, causing long life to others. Then it affects you. Even you don't want to have longer life, but by causing long life to others, people, animals, or giving advice, psychological advice to people who want to commit suicide, you give advice, and then you give meditation or prayers or mantras, or you give psychological talks, and so they stop suicide, and so you cause long life to human beings, or they protect from life dangers, as well as the animals who are going to be killed, and you cause long life. So by the nature of karma, even you don't like to have your own life to be healthy and long life, you don't have that wish, and you don't have that self-searching thought. You don't have that kind of wish or aiming to yourself. Main aim is yourself to be held in long life. So at all, like Bodhisattva who doesn't have things cherishing at all, even for 1 second, a split second, doesn't have, only cherishing others and seeking happiness for others. But you see, but your karma causing others long life, naturally it causes to have long life, healthy. So even you don't like, but there's like a natural karma, no? So like that. So anyway, I forgot what I'm saying.
Politics. Politics.
Yes. It's a politics method. So politics means usually people think it's black, worldly activity, or the activities done with the anger, attachment, all like that, black politics or worldly concern, worldly action. Not necessarily. Politics means method. Skillful means skillful method. So in Tibet, I think I mentioned a few days ago. I don't remember. I think I might have mentioned. In Tibet, we have money, Tibetan money, this size paper, bigger than this paper, twice, big like this. The difference is some small, some bigger. Well, for the largest money in the world.
Largest size.
Largest size. Well, largest money. So there it says, pushing Gaden Potang Machibo, Tibetan government, Gaden Potang Machibo, Gaden joyful. I think may have connected with the, because since Tibetan range offered fit his own Lama, since from that, not from the first, not from the second, no. It's the first one founded the Shilmo Monastery, Benjamin Jawa Gindu Chuba, second one Jawa Gindu Yazu, who founded the monastery near Pandalama, which predicts, if your question is Tibetan TV, that's very clear prediction, letters and figures and like that. If your question is the protector of the Tibetan government is only in many high lamas and people, so many yogis, high lamas, Dharma protector. I mentioned as one manifestation, lastful manifestation of Saraswati, wisdom deity of wisdom. Saraswati in the worship also Hindu, but also worshiping Buddhism. So there's Saraswati is Anglo-Latin being. So like Tara, same, they were all same essence. Tara, all those female deities. So, yeah, I think Lama Zopa monastery in the garden in Tibet, and then Kumbum, where Lama Zopa was born, Kumbum, monastery in Lhasa, the garden, Lama Zopa established in the garden, Jaipur, then also Tushita. Now, there's a true Tushita, ordinary devotee Tushita, and then there's like the city and the monastery distance. So like that, there's a pure land or Mithya Buddha, Lama Zopa, this garden Yigachun in the Jaipur pure land. So they may be connected with this kind of like that. I guess since they offered to Prithijan Lama the king's reign. So after that it says chooses unification of politics and Dharma. So there's no other world has, no other country has. They don't know what Dharma is, the reality. No, they only pray in church, going to pray. Only church, only going. Dharma is only in church. Doesn't have Dharma outside. It's like that. Only in the church. Dharma is only in church. They pray. Or that's can't do that. Not clear. So therefore, for example, America, you see, they decide government is not Dharma, not religion. Not religion. So they connotate religion, only pray in church and something like that. Only religion on the church and the something. So the government is involved in the war and many wrathful actions, violence. So can't figure out Dharma and politics. They make confusion. So only individual Dharma, individual therefore religion, but not the government. So they can't put together. But Tibet is not like that. So much it depends on what do you mean by religion, what do you mean by Dharma. The religion, what do you mean by that? So there's a...
Sorry,
maybe I moved too much.
Switch it off.
Pick up this one. Put it here. Put it here. Maybe put it here. You want to put it here? Maybe you want to put it here. You want to put it here? Yeah.
Cable is too short.
Oh, okay. Okay.
A bit from here.
In the bigger table.
That's good. That doesn't. That's good. See, so somebody who live in city or somebody who live in an isolated place in the cave, eating, walking, sitting, sleeping, so everything whatever a person does is they become Dharma. Even one live city, or even one live with working for the with people with mass. It's everything with the Dharma, spiritual, and so the by meditating on the impact, particularly one meditating, by meditating and realizing the nature of life, impermanence, and that no place, there's no place where you don't have to experience that one. There's no food, no medicine. I forgot one. What was that one? Three things that no medicine and
Salt.
what? No, I mentioned. That's the place. There's some place where you don't have to experience that. No medicine and
Politics and dharma. Politics is dharma is
Body.
Yeah, body, yeah. No matter how tallest than the general human beings, twice and doubled, and tall or strong, fat, and because can't stop trucks, and but I think there was some exercise you can stop cars, no? So not like that, can't stop that. Can't stop that at all. And then I forget. So the that three things before the outline is death time, nothing can benefit. The border surroundings, even your billion bodyguards and or billion bodyguards and or families and friends, and everyone become friends, and every people in the world become real friends. You are hard, you are hard, loving friends. Can't stop your death, and then also the wealth, and then even you own the whole wealth in the world, you can't stop, can't prevent, can't stop that, and so. Even this body can't stop, no matter how big mountains, I can't stop this. Everything has to relapse. Whether it's like skeleton, tin, in the body, or like mountains, fat, strong, can't stop that. So only Dharma, holy Dharma, is the only one that can help at that time. So with the three ocean lands, I thought that my memories about that. There's 9 rounds of the death meditation. So
It's definite the Lord of Death will come. There's no lifetime on life. Lifespan is continued. Lifespan is continued decreasing, and you'll die even if you.
Yeah, that's what I remember. Then nothing definite. Nothing definite. Other ones, so death is definite. Death is definite. So I mentioned two reasons beginning. So death is definite, but the actual time of death is uncertain. So then there's there's one reason is more condition for death. The less condition for living. Even the condition, living condition, house, food, those are living conditions, but even their cause is death. For that many people, while they're eating food, then they make mistakes, and while they're eating food, then die. So many people, then the house collapse, people die in the house collapse. Then by earthquakes, by many reasons. Then there's conditions for death. Then 360 spirit possession. The interferes 80,000. 80,000. The thousand of the interferes, then initiate that 424 disease. So there all this, so they were dead. So easy to happen. So we are. So easy to happen. The conditions, even living conditions, even medicine can cause death. Many times in the hospital, you realize doctor, medicine so much as they have omniscient mind, as the Buddha, as they have omniscient mind. Oh, doctor, they rely on so much. Little sin is there. Doctor. And then they say most doctors, the liver not clear. Then there's operation. Then operations in the West, also in India. And the liver don't answer, operation. So I think many sick people, I wondered, many sick people that die by taking medicine, by following the doctor. Many people die by medicine, by following hospital. So didn't work well, not right, sometimes not right medicine. Many things like that. Doctor, like omniscient, like Buddha, doctor. I think many people die with that. So medicine has side effect. So I think I told during the lecture also about the killing, caused by past karma, killing others. Then you have all the side effects, food side effects, like diabetes, you can't eat sugar, and then some food medicine being side effects. Or you have to take the medicine, but it's side effect. Many people, some people get, some people don't get. So due to their karma, but people don't. But the government, general people don't know about dharma, about karma, about things, a real cause, and doesn't know. So general people in the world doesn't know. So people who know Dharma is very little. So that who know Dharma, Holy Dharma is very little. So anyway, what I'm saying. For one in France, this is quite a number of years ago. One child was, all the doctors decided going to die. One child. But from Gabon monastery, one Geshe who has completed the path, so the spiritual path to enlightenment, who has completed actualizing. He was in the after he came from escape from Tibet. So when he was escaping through the Chinese army, the Chinese armies are around, but he did puja, and then the snow fall down. Snow, then suddenly clouds together, snow fall down. Then while snowing so much, he escaped through the cars of the Chinese armies. Through the car, he escaped. There was so much snow falling down. So the orderly, there was the age groups, outer inner secret age groups, and so those and project Dharma project beyond from samsara, so they helped him. They also Chinese armies didn't bother. There was so much snow falling down, so they didn't notice, I guess, sort of, Anyway, so he was in Zum, very far, near Tibet. It was forbidden for many years tourists to go there. Now it's opened. Zum. It's a high mountains. That's why there's Milareba's caves, life stories, and different life stories. So above Milareba's cave, one of the caves, there was a Milareba's cave. Why Milareba's sister? Milareba is naked, and then one maybe something to do there. Maybe one what do you call it? A sari, or it's not sari. Shawl. Not an expensive shawl. Just a cloth, just
loin cloth.
Yeah. So, but nothing else, naked. So his sister is very worried all the time. So she offered one roll of woolen, so they can make cloth dress. So rolled on, offered to Milarepa. Then Milarepa cut in pieces. Then he made a cover for the fingers, and also including his secret organ, I made every pieces, and that he didn't make dress, but pieces like this, and then sister got very upset, and so that story, that cave. So above that, the Shikesha Lama Kunja's cave. He was there 6 years. Like Buddha did 6 years ascetic life, lived in meditation. All like that, he lived 6 years. He didn't have to eat food. He lived on windy. I don't know, I haven't seen the text, but I've seen all the text. You can live in the peels made of flour, not poison. That you can do 21 days retreat. If that has become successful, then you can live anytime, isolated place. You don't have to go many days to look for food all the time. Then so much time goes on food. your life is just living on food. It's kind of like that, you know. You look for food, then you go back so far, and then, you know, so no much time you don't give much time to meditate, so whole your life becomes like that. So all the astral place, so you just live in pill, you don't need food. So I first just turned one day. Julian is called taking the essence. Whenever our old Western Sanghas, Dharamsala, did that retreat. I did that retreat, but one Sangha didn't succeed. He can't do that. Even compassion, Avarakdeswara practice, 2 days. You know, where you both the days you take an Atman precepts and you have lunch, no breakfast, dinner, and second day is totally empty, no food, no drink, completely. So that's one retreat, 2 days, and the third day morning, early morning, short session. So that's one unit. Abiding the retreat. New is it's called, people call fasting or something. The fasting is just one related with body. There's a related with the fasting. There's abiding the retreat with body, speech, mind. So there's a gross one and subtle one. Anyway, so there's one monk, George Chuno was there. He studied a lot of Buddhist philosophy. He could not do kind of fasting things. He vomit, to get sick and all that. And he tried to do, but he couldn't do the taking the essence out of the flower. Could not do. So most people they did many old sanghas did. Before that time, I think this great mentor Dharamsala Genchamba is a friend, is our friend before, best Dharma friend. So Lama asked him to lead, to explain, to lead. So I did that. So anyway, on the windy. You can do on the storms, you can do on the water from mountains, different water put together. So this way then you don't have to make food. You just live in that and blessed it, then you, if it's a flower pill, then bless it, then you take I don't know, certain number of pills, and that's that gives a lot of time to meditate, to do meditation, and your mind becomes very, very, very clear. Mind becomes very, very, very clear, and that is to help the samatha meditation, karma abiding. So you are able to achieve that easier. So like that. But the country where many people living, I mean, it because the essence of the living, you have to meditate, observing on the flower peel or whatever it is you make. So absorb. So therefore, for example, Dharamsala, then it becomes scarce food for the people. If you do that, you can do that meditation, you can live in the pill, but for other people who don't live that, food becomes scarce. So I have one during that time. Is the Hisundalama's guru in India. Before that, Tenshap. means helping in the education, helping his own in the debate, philosophy, and the top expert. There's few Sarah from Sarah Che, where we belong to, and Sarah Me, and then Garden Changda Chate, Rosalyn Goma. So each college is quite few top, very top, learned, extremely unbelievable. Monks, Lama monks. So from those, then choose to help his own young time to education in the philosophy, to debate into not guru, but it's like you go to university, things you go to college, but you have a house. You have a house. What do you call it? Hostel, yeah, it's a bit like that. Saintship, the High Lamas, that not only also some other High Lamas also can have that. So anyway, but become guru in India, chapter 2nd century, but so I took many initiation teachings from me. So he says, yeah, they can do, you have to teach this children thing as, but of course we have to live dharamsala, means food becomes scarcity, no things become, means we live becomes scarcity in that area, you see. So Rinpoche says, don't like the people doing it is there. But if they do very high mountains, different areas, that's okay. So, what are they? So this monk gets among our best friend. Only when we come to Dharamsala, then he comes to out to us, Lama our place, Tushita. Not all the time, but time comes, and then gives us information about anyone Dharamsala who achieves realization, different realizations, or those meditators who live on the mountain, and then different places, Bhutan, and other different places. They offer the realization to his own else. So his own tells him who achieve different realization, different realizations. Sutra and Tantra, Sutra, so many paths in Tantra. So his own tells him that we hear from him, who each realization is. Then the root guru is not his own guru, his own Chan, who is my root guru. From I received my first Lamrim teaching, Liberation Palm in your hand and Sanat. So that's my first Lamrim teaching. So some offer the realization to his own channel, which they go to see him and get instruction. So and then sometimes politics, because he hear from me. He hear from his own nest, and so sometimes, not so much talk connection, but his own nest. Sometimes that and that. So mostly who achieved realizations about the Dharma practice. So very interesting, very interesting. That you don't hear, or you don't hear whole life, nothing, only fighting and only war and only disaster. What you hear. So the individual people and becoming enlightened and realizing you don't hear whole life, you don't hear. So individual people having good time, you don't hear at all. So the world is like that. Then maybe you hear sometimes good things what people do, but not realization, not a changing path, not you don't hear, hardly you don't hear. So you have only problems in the world. So on the mountains, there's different places. There are different places here. So there are people meditating the path, sacrifice life to the path completely, and the actual path. Those are the real scientists. Those are the inner scientists, not the outside scientists looking at atoms, seeing on the outside phenomena. No understanding reincarnation, no understanding reincarnation. Most important knowledge about mind. No understanding. Most important knowledge is mind. From where all the happiness comes, from where all the suffering comes, is the mind. But no karma, no reincarnation. So these are living on the mountain. Oh, this sacrifice. Oh, this. Living on the mountain, simple life. Oh, they're the actual path. What the Buddha explained in the text. What the Buddha explained in the text. More than 100 volumes, and then 200 volumes by Indian Pandits, Guru Yogis. Then Saraha, Buddha, Naruba's Guru. Pandit like second Buddha, Nagarjuna, Sanghasaraka, so many Pandits. Oh, there's 200 volumes, more than 200 volumes, common trees there on the Buddha's teachings, so guys, I can't go there. Of course I can. Of course I can.
Yes, Lama Konchak helping the child in France.
Yeah, that's right.
You met.
Doctors had given up on somebody, was it like that?
What
we were just talking about all the great meditators who are achieving these realizations that we read about in
So not only that, now I forgot. Not only that, on the basis of that, then in Tibet, the great enlightened beings like Lama Zopa, the famous ones from India, the 5 great Satyalamas, so many, other achieving enlightenment road. Again, the experience, many teachings, Suda, Tantra, many. So I forgot why I'm talking about that. Yeah, that's the far back.
Far back.
Again, jump one to
Yeah.
Again, the one who achieved realizations, he used to go to his holiness.
The offering is the realizations to His Holiness, and then
Yes. Anyway, so see the many mentors, they live very simple life, very renounced life, very simple life. They renounce the world. They renounce the happiness. They renounce the attachment to this life. Renounce. That's the basic practice. Renounce the attachment to this life. So live a simple life. And in the mountain, they meditate. After they study the extensive Dharma, if not extensive, then middle one. The essence Lamrim, the Tushita Center, the graduate part enlightenment, the middle arm. Then you see, even not even those who couldn't or didn't, then teachings what they receive from Guru or orally, what the teachings, what the instruction, what they receive from Guru, and they put in practice, so they try to achieve enlightenment. The first one, the highest intelligent one, is by studying extensive scriptures, Buddha taught water, Pandit Yoga taught water, so much India and Tibet and so much like that. Second is then those who couldn't do study much, then achieving enlightenment through by studying Lamrim, Lama Zopa, Great Lamrim, Middle, so there are many. So studying the essence of the Tushita Center, so achieving enlightenment. Then those who can't do, who don't have intelligence or who didn't get done that, then they receive teaching from Guru and the instruction they receive from Guru, then they practice and they try to achieve enlightenment. So that they are not able to stand. They don't have same intelligence, different level intelligence. So that's why they do the the most elaborate study, then realize part achieving middle, the lower, all like that. In the past, Lama Dishes for Kadama cases also happen like that. Even nowadays like this. So not everybody can do extended study, no. Those who are intelligent who are mathematics can do it. So this is, if they achieve enlightenment, then they're going to capacity of mind. So anyway, so like this happening, for that person is like sun shining. The life is like sun shining. The happiness, Oh, you in this life you get higher and higher path, and then even you didn't achieve like this life. Oh, then next life you get higher than next path. Oh, so like that. So, but the rest of us in the world, we have only problems and this and that and all these problems, muscle problems and that. Sometimes maybe good things we have, but not realization of them. There's some of them maybe helping people or something. Maybe sometimes like that. Most of the problems, news problems. That's not that. So you think, so the many people think, you don't hear nothing good, only problem. This is the thing. News is only that, so then they think only all the problems. So then they're depressed, and then the psychological problem. And then, so this case again, he achieved Shamatha Dalhousie. He achieved Shunyata Dhammasala Jabjaling Rinpoche's where Pasla Jabjaling Rinpoche lived, and down below there was a rock. Then he did the earth. Then he meditated for 7 years. Then he realized the emptiness. My teacher, Geshe Rabden Rinpoche, used to say how fortunate he is. If you have any questions, you ask him, you say like that. He is fresh on this realization of emptiness, shunyata. When I was receiving first time Mahamudra teaching from Geshe Rabden Rinpoche, his main teacher is Geshe Rabden Rinpoche. Geshe Rabden Rinpoche, great scholar as well as great mentor. Not only intellectually rich, no, mind rich. So that. Rich, brilliant, times rich. I was a billion, zillion, trillion times rich then. Muslims or America or what's the name of that America? The rich
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates, and who else? Bill Gates and. Well, that's several people, and Muslim places, and so billion, zillion, trillion, many are more rich than them. Oh, the mind rich with realization what was taught in the text. Oh, I like that. Oh, the rich like that. Most important rich. Most important rich. So that you can more qualify, more realization you have, you can benefit more to numberless sentient beings. Freedom from oceans or something suffering, bring to enlightenment. So then he actualized bodhicitta behind Tushita on the side of the mountain. There's a hermitage, many churches there. He was there for many years, also the backside. So there he actualized bodhicitta, and he used to tell me that he has never been to other people's house for himself. He has never been to other people's house for himself. So that means he actualized bodhicitta, totally renounced I, cherishing I, only cherishing others, numberless sentient beings, numberless helplings, numberless hunger gods, numberless animals, human beings, suras, asuras, the numberless universe, scientific mentioned, Buddha mentioned, so, and numberless sura, asura also, only cherishing others, not one, numberless sentient beings. He has actualized bodhicitta. So, not only meditation, eating, walking, sitting, sleeping, whatever he do after bodhicitta generated, even breathing in and out. When you live life, breathing in and out, everything pure for sentient beings, numberless sentient beings, for us, numberless sentient beings, not for him at all. Oh, like that. Then you understand. I told you yesterday, I'm supposed not to mention them publicly, but I mentioned last night to show what is the Guru's blessings, and you know what happens to the mind. You never do that prayer normally, but that early morning, then you complete total decision to be born in hell for other sentient beings, to help other sentient beings, so that like that your mind can change, like that. That's not normal thing. Normal thing, you always pray to never born in hell, always pray, and like that. So the mind become bodhicitta is like that. Whom you cherish is not you cherish, like you cherish all numberless sentient, not even one ant left out, even not left out, even one insect left out, not one ant, also like that. It's really interesting. So he expressed bodhicitta. So he said, he didn't say he didn't go to other people's house, but he didn't go for himself. 15 years ago, only for sake of sentient beings. Like that. So something to realize, even normal breathing in and out, breathing is only for us, numberless sentient beings. When you actualize bodhicitta. So anyway, then also he actualized Kerala Tantra second part. Besides first part generation, second part completion, 5 part Kerala gradual completion part Kerala illusory body and Kerala cause of Dhamaka Rupaka is actualized. So great Geshe, very fortunate person. So great success in the realization of life. So he lived a holy life in the mountains and the main thing is simple life, renounced life. Like that, renounced life. Dalhousie, I was there for school. One second British nun, pretty baby, second British nun opened a school for young lamas. So she asked me many times to come, so I went there. 6 months. So on Sunday we go around the mountain. There's one mountain to go around on Sunday. So his house, that time I met 1 or 2 times in the mountain. So he was coming to look for firewood, but he was coming, usually you're looking for firewood, robes, and you don't dress properly the robes, and looking for firewood, collecting firewood, even change the dress and not completely, but like that normally. So he was coming very properly. He was coming like, it didn't look like coming to pick up firewood, because the Zen, properly and everything properly, very properly in the outside conduct, besides his mind. So he was going for collecting wood. So his room, in Dalhousie, his room is, I didn't go inside, but and the road is above her. But the room is a kind of ruined house, old small ruined house, and a roof, stone, flat stone, and a ruined house, and so night times, lot of spirits. So he was telling me at Dharmsala, tell us, night time so much spirit. They're walking back and forth, and so much spirit and spirit. So he was giving teaching. He was reading the Bodhicitta benefits of Bodhicitta, first chapter, to the spirits, giving teaching to the spirits, all like that. So ordinary people like us, like me, can't stand at all. If spirits, there comes spirits, make a noise, and I would just scare. Miles and miles and miles. So like that. And then break my legs, and then even I ran, break my legs and break my nose, and so he was doing like that. You understand, if you want to know what it means, really people breaking down. Development of the mind. So what is that? Yeah, so he led with all the sanghas at that time. What is this? Going back. Now to going back to the story. Okay. Okay, that's enough. Then going back to the story. So friends, the little child, I believe all the doctors decided to go and die, won't survive. And the Geshe Lama Goncho, who, so I told the story, 6 years he lived no food, and windy, on the windy, place of food, it made windy. But I didn't still taxi yet. So he did retreat meditation. So I saw the cave. He lived with us for after our Master Lama has passed away, and then he came down, lived with us, teach Western people and then our nuns and monks and retreat and teach us teach meditation to our monks and nuns. To Western people and students. But he never told us. He told us stories that sick people, crazy people like that. Then they go to see other lamas and they get a lot of blessings and protections of very big ones and waved and colored one. Then they don't get recovered. And then at the last, they come to him. Then he pull up a string from his bed. Pull up some string, then some string gives the sick person case better, then they recovered. So like that, that's due to his realization. Like that, I mean, there's a great practitioner of Lamrim renunciation, Buddhist and so something stories here he tell us, but we never heard. He lived 6 years as life in the retreat, renounced life. He never told us. And then there's none monastery up there. So who founded the monastery? The great Lama who was first Haramba, got first degree studying in Devon Monastery in Tibet, and great learned. And then after that, he through other teachings from other sect lamas, and then this great Lama, he went around the Himalayas and he made the rules to not hunt animals on the mountains and many areas, Himalaya mountains. Then he organized many people, so many people on the mountains to draw money payment for 100 million. He did many times like that and gave teachings and benefits even the animals do not hunt. Still exists, and that rule still exists. But when I was born, Solo Kumbut, and now degenerated, and now people sell meat and but still the people hunt in the forest, they still catch and then punish and they do that. But so he passed away, his incarnation not well, so he thought he might die, so they're telling more stories. So there's 1,000 Genesis in the nunnery, so he asked questions to the Genesis, many other lamas who went to the monastery nunnery. So he put my name there, then it came out my name there in the front Genesis. So that's why we have to. That's why we have to take care of the nunnery monasteries. We build. So we build so much nuns house and also a new monastery built for the monks and also dispensary medicines and Tibetan medicine. Helped so much develop. So anyway, this very far. Zoom is very far. It takes 15 days for walking the food from Nepal so we're developing the place, and so the old mother from Malaysia she was asked to help, and then she said she wanted to see the land. She wanted to see the nunnery before she gave the help money. So she had a Russian airplane, helicopter, I think Russian helicopter. So it happened to me, she invited me to go by there. Russian helicopter is very big. So when suddenly it happened to me to go there, but I was supposed to go after everything finished building, then go to the consecration. That was the idea, but I had to go there suddenly. So that's how I saw the military base cave, and then I saw the Geshe Lama Gonjo's cave. This, but there's completely empty, nothing like that. But that's because like that. So after he left, a long time ago. So only then I realized how he practiced Dharma, unbelievable, like Buddha did, you know. Wow. So of course you meet nobody you meet for 6 years and lived like this, then of course you can have realization of God. If you don't know Dharma, that's different. But if you know Dharma, they have to practice. Of course, no question. So he never told us that. It's only because I saw the cave and I was shown the cave. I saw the way. So anyway, he did puja. He did a few minutes puja for the child and recovered. Child was recovered. He did a few minutes puja, you know. Oh, the doctor has the child going to die, but we did a few minutes puja and they recovered. So this is not the only story, but there's many stories. Many stories like that with him. So I mean, anyway, I think I told it yesterday, no? I told it. There was some Mongolian lady that we worked as Mongolians. I mentioned yesterday. Mongolian lady, what's her name? Ulan. Worked at our center in Ulaanbaatar for many years. She's very good. And her son is in Canada studying. So they 1 year ago needed to change 2 times blood every week. So waiting for somebody to transplant the marrow, bone marrow, but could not find. Almost 1 year ago. But then finally they asked me. So I said, don't do that. Don't do the change. Then his illness, not one pill, the other one, I think, and then some Tibetan medicine, and then maybe the puja or something. And then he, without any change, he went to the doctor. Doctor said he got better. You know, it's after a long time. 1 year's waiting. So like that happened. Then so going to the West, it's an impossible thing. So without somebody changing the transmission, so as I mentioned last night, I think. Now that by taking some blessed pills or some which has some very risky disease regarded in the West, very risky, but no medicine. And then by sending some Tibetan pills and then recovered. So that's the mother I mentioned yesterday. I remember there in the early times there I think 5, 6 people got recovered by cancer. The one I remember, that might be hard to remember, but there through meditation, doing pujas and pill out, doing mainly the meditation, cancer, and so. not that recovered by not that recovered by my realization. Not that I don't have any realization. So, and not like Geshe-Lama Khenpo. It's different. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, okay. Okay. So now, prayer. So I read.